What if the key to loving an avoidant is understanding what truly makes them happy while also ensuring you communicate your own needs and have healthy standards in a relationship? And believe it or not, one of the keys to loving an avoidant is understanding that there are different things compared to almost every other attachment style that make them feel truly connected and in love. So in today's video, I'm going to break down with you the strange things and even surprising things that an avoidant attachment style needs in order to be happy in love. And it is my hope for you as we break down all of these different components on this channel that you dig into these things while also understanding your needs based on your attachment style so that you can communicate and convey those needs in some healthy ways that we're going to talk about at the end of this video here today too. And if this video is helpful or supportive for you today, please like, share, and subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any of our daily videos coming up. So here's the first thing that the avoidant needs to be happy in a relationship. And this is very obvious. In fact, most people know this just by proxy, just by being around an avoidant themselves. And it is they need to feel like they can still have their need for independence and freedom while in a relationship with somebody else. Now, a lot of times, especially when I would work with a lot of couples in my practice, people would come and say, okay, so then a relationship's just supposed to be all about independence. But this isn't the case. In fact, this really goes back to that first point I said, which is we need to be able to understand the strange and unique things that the dismissive avoidant needs to be happy while also taking our individual needs into consideration and making sure that we set our standards to have them met in the relationship. So let's say you're somebody who's a little more anxious leaning and you want a little more time together in the relationship rather than independence. It doesn't mean that just because at face value or at a surface level, those things seem in opposition that they actually are. In fact, one of the easiest hacks I would give so many couples that I used to work with in my practice was number one, sit down and have the conversation that basically goes like this. How can I honor your need for independence in a relationship and make sure you still feel respected and supported in your need for freedom, while also ensuring that I can feel connected with you on a regular and consistent basis? See, when people are wanting a lot more time together, what they're usually wanting is validation, reassurance, consistency. When somebody's needing independence, it's not that they're trying to escape their partner and not give their partner those things. It's that they actually just need to have the sense of independence to do their own thing and spend time alone to recharge and recuperate sometimes. So often what I get couples to sit down and do on point number 1 of 5 here is have a conversation about how many evenings or daytime periods alone the dismissive avoidant needs to have to feel like they are enriched in the relationship to themselves and their freedom, and how many evenings or daytimes does the other individual need who may be anxiously attached or fearful avoidant or secure in order to feel like they are getting their needs met for reassurance and consistency. And often what I would find is that if a dismissive avoidant knew, for example, that they had 3 evenings alone, maybe a Monday, Wednesday, and Friday evening, or Monday, Wednesday, Sunday evening to themselves to do their own thing, and that was their untouched time, that made them feel like they still had all of the space to be free. And if the other individual in the relationship had 2 or sometimes even 3 evenings with their partner, maybe a Tuesday, a Thursday, and a Saturday evening, or a Tuesday and all day Saturday and Saturday evening, these types of dynamics, that would make them feel like, okay, I'm getting enough connection. If the dismissive avoidant also gave them a sense of reassurance and safety and made them feel valued by actually reassuring them once a week over text, saying something like, hey, I miss you, I care about you, I'm glad we're together, these little pieces of reassurance, the other individual was able to really respect their need for independence and freedom while getting their own need met for that consistency and reassurance in the relationship dynamic. So somebody can really have that need respected, even if it's unique to them, while also it not having to take away from their partner's needs in a relationship. Point number 2, dismissive avoidants, believe it or not, really need empathy in a relationship. You see, this is a huge unmet need that they're actually carrying from their own childhood, because if a dismissive avoidant grows up in a household where they don't get a lot of their needs met, especially their emotional needs, then it goes a very long way when it feels like somebody around them actually cares about their feelings and who they are. In fact, it's such a deeply unmet need. It's almost synonymous to a child who grows up with parents who are not present, having somebody be really present and make them feel really seen. And it really hits home. Now, of course, you may not see this too much because a dismissive avoidant is quite stoic, but when they feel like somebody really empathizes with them or tries to understand them, they feel much more emotionally safe in the relationship and they tend to lower their guard and want to invest. Number 3, A dismissive avoidant really wants harmony in their relationships. One of the biggest things that actually causes relationships to break apart is emotional volatility. In fact, statistically, it is in the top 3 factors that can cause two individuals, even if they're in love, to break up. And dismissive avoidants are especially sensitive to this. As individuals who grow up without a lot of emotional safety through connection, it can feel very taxing if, when they are connected to somebody, that connection actually brings volatility into their lives. And one of the biggest things that I would hear over and over again in my practice from dismissive avoidant clients would be things like, hey, I really care about this person, but I can't see a future with this person if there's too much volatility. Dismissive avoidants really shy away and they shut down over drama. They want to feel like the relationship in their lives is something emotionally safe because they already feel so emotionally unsafe around things like vulnerability and having to open up and having to share their inner world and feel their feelings, that is just going to be something that puts them over the edge. So harmony is a huge need for dismissive avoidance in relationships. Now, before I get to number 4 and 5 here, I do want to let you know that we actually have this really exciting promotion that is fully for free to share with you right now. Just for a limited time. And it is, you get access to every course in the personal development school for 7 days for free. Plus, you keep our relationship needs course for life. This will help you understand your own needs and relationships and the needs of your partners or loved ones. And you get literal free access to that course for life, as well as 7-day free trial access to every other course at PDS if you use the link for free down below. And this promotion is just until the end of January. So take advantage while you can. We've never even done this before, and we may or may not do it in the future. So check it out. Now, number 4 here, another huge need that dismissive avoidants have to be happy when it comes to love is they want literal communication. Dismissive avoidants are not the best at reading between the lines, and they feel like it's a strange expectation for somebody to hope that they'll read between the lines. So if you're somebody who is, having a bit of an attitude, or you're frustrated or hurt about something, and you're trying to hope that your dismissive avoidant partner will guess what's wrong, this just ends up being in game territory. You are not actually communicating what you need and conveying what's hurting you so that it can be solved for in a productive way. And the dismissive avoidant isn't going to pick up on that. In fact, they're just going to feel that tension from you, and it's going to cause them to shut down. So, going about trying to get the person to hear you out from that lens or perspective isn't something that's going to work well for either of you in the relationship. So what I really recommend here is actually practicing literal communication. If something's bothering you and you want something to happen instead, say, hey, I'm feeling a little bit hurt about ABC situation, and here's what I'm needing going forward in order to feel resolved. This hits 2 really important points when it comes to dating or having a dismissive avoidant loved one in your life. Number 1, they like the literal communication, and it makes them feel like being in this relationship with you has challenges, but that can become solvable problems by this openness, this transparency, and this direct communication, which actually makes them feel like they're more capable of solving things with you in a relationship. But number 2, it also makes them feel like, hey, we're going to keep solving for things. This makes sense. I don't have to play guessing games. And it makes them feel emotionally safe and more harmonious in the relationship. It also is a really important antidote for resentment in relationships, to communicate your needs. The less your needs are communicated and the more you feel like they're not seen and heard, generally is correlated with the more resentment that will exist in a relationship dynamic. So that's a really great thing for you to do for your growth if you're listening, and for the growth of the dismissive avoidant as well. Last but not least, another huge thing, probably the biggest thing a dismissive avoidant needs in a relationship to be happy, is a sense of acceptance or non-judgment. Now, a lot of people here will be like, wait, but then that means I just have to never want this person to grow with me or change some of the unhealthy behaviors in a relationship. But that couldn't be further from the truth. Adopting an attitude of acceptance when you communicate things is something that will go a long way, but something that will also get you heard better. In other words, if there's something that's affecting you in the relationship that you're needing more of, let's say, for example, you want your dismissive avoidant loved one to be more present with you, coming at this from an attitude of acceptance while still encouraging growth is something that will land very well with an avoidant partner. For example, if you go to this person and you say, hey, I really appreciate how much we're growing together in this relationship, and I really value how much you're putting in effort to this relationship. One thing I notice that I need at times is a little bit more presence. Maybe when I come home from work or when we're talking on the phone, if you could be a little bit more present at times, that would go a long way. And I understand that it's up to me to communicate that I need these things because you're not supposed to read my mind. So basically, what you're doing is you're telling the person it's not your fault that you're not already doing this. I'm not blaming you and expecting you to mind read. So there's an attitude of acceptance being indirectly communicated there. You're also validating things that this partner is doing in the relationship that you do appreciate. Again, translating into this attitude of acceptance. But you are still communicating and conveying your needs in a positively framed manner. You're telling this person what you do need. Here's what I would appreciate if we could do more of. Not saying something like, you never do this, you're never present, because that's just going to come across as criticism. So positive framing and sandwiching with something you do appreciate about this person in the relationship allows this attitude of acceptance to be conveyed without it ever having to sacrifice your ability to communicate your needs. So if you want to go deeper into that topic of conversation about needs as a whole, again, you can check out the relationships needs course fully for free for life and keep it if you check out our 7-day trial down below. And that course will take you through all of the needs for your attachment style, for the attachment styles of other individuals in your life, and will really help you get a really clear idea about what it is that we all need in order to be loved in the best way possible. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, share, and subscribe if you are enjoying this channel. And thank you so much for stopping by.